Hey guys, it's Richard at Altfins with a quick market update and some trading ideas. In the last few days, particularly over the weekend, we had some severe corrections, severe pullback across the board. And I do think that we are now getting to a point where the market is very oversold and due for a bounce. And mind you, this is a very tactical trade, short term. I'm not betting that this is the bottom of this correction, but I do think that there are some swing trading ideas or opportunities based on the RSI indicator. And the RSI indicator is for many of the altcoins getting into extreme oversold or at a minimum very oversold territory, which tends to indicate a potential short-term or near-term bounce up. Now again, this could very well be just a bounce up in a downtrend that will continue, but I do find some interesting opportunities that I wanted to share with you. So let's take a look at the action. First of all, the performance from the major two names. Bitcoin is down about 20% in the last month, 14% in the last week. Ethereum has relatively outperformed. It's only down 5%. In fact, if we're looking, if you want to find all the coins that are on the relative basis, relative to Bitcoin outperforming, a quick way of doing that is to go to the pairs tab and then looking for instruments that contain BTC and say the price is for the last week above 5%. So these are all pairs, right? Like Ethereum versus BTC, Luna versus BTC, Matic, which is Polygon, right? These are all pairs that have outperformed BTC over the last week or so. Any case, getting back to our search for some oversold ideas. Very easy filter to create would be to say RSI 14 is oversold. Here's a predefined setting right here under 30. I add that filter. Plus, I still want to trade with the long-term overall trend. So the long-term trend, I want it to be up. So I'm down to about 70 items, 70 altcoins. And that's enough. That's it. You can save this filter. I've already have a filter just like that created. It's right here, right? So in the future, I can just come back here, apply the filter, hit done. And by the way, another way of using and finding these saved filters, if you go to Signal Summary, you will find all of your user created or custom created filters right here on top of the Signal Summary page. Here's the one that I have created, as you can see. So we have about 66 altcoins on a daily time interval that are trading, that are oversold in the long-term uptrend. If you trade other shorter term intervals, you can find the links right here. So I can just click on this link. It will take me again to the screener with the coin page open and show me all those coins that are all very oversold based on RSI 14 and are still in the long-term trend up. So we've got some well-known names here. Now the key now here, and this is something that we explain in our education program, is to find coins that are not only very oversold, but are near their support area. And how to find support is something that we also explain in the education program. But we also have articles in our knowledge base that you can look up. So I look at the longer time horizon. And where's the support? By the way, a lot of these charts, or some of these charts in the top 30 or so coins will have our curated charts that will actually have the support zones highlighted in green and some discussion of the technical analysis. So what we like in this chart, as we indicated in the curated chart, is that the $30 support zone is 1 and the next one is 26, but also there's a 200-day moving average right in between them that tends to serve as a strong support area. As you can see in the past, for Polkadot, there were multiple occasions where the price had bounced up from about around this support zone. So we're back in that support zone. My bet is that after several days, let's look at how many days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of down trend, action, that we are going to see a bounce up. And as you can see, if you look at the past times where the RSI has reached about 30 or so, we've seen some bounce up here. We've seen some short-lived bounce here, not much. We saw a bounce off of this level here for a few days, right? And that's what I'm looking to play here. And by the way, if you look at the selling, it seems like the sellers are getting exhausted. There was a big gap down here on big volume, and now the last couple of days have been smaller gap downs on smaller volumes. So I think the sellers are getting exhausted, and we might see some relief rally here. Again, not betting that this trend will turn around just yet, but I think that if we buy it here around $27 or so, we could see an upside to about $35. $35 is the next resistance zone. If you go back to the curated charts, you see resistance zones around 35. So that's where I bet we could swing back up to, and that's where I would exit that trade. And so that's one that looks really interesting. Chainlink, let's take a look at it. Again, let's take a look at the long chart. And again, this one is in the downtrend on the short and medium term, but still in the uptrend on the long-term basis. And again, we've had several days of down selling. And are we near some support level? We can look at the curated chart here. The support zone is about $20. The next one is 15. As you can see, it's broken out of this ascending triangle. It was a bearish breakout and below the 200-day moving average. So certainly not positive here. But again, I'm betting that now that RSI is at 22.8. That's really oversold. That's extreme oversold. I mean, when we get to those areas like here we did in July, we had a big rally after that. We got here in June, we had a small rally after that. We got here in to those levels in May, we had a decent rally. So, I mean, this is really oversold. We're due for a nice relief rally and a bounce. So I would be a buyer here, still in the long-term uptrend. So I'm trading with the trend, at least on the long-term basis. I wouldn't touch altcoins that have, or situations where all three time intervals or time horizons are bearish. At least I'd like to see the long-term trend to be still up. So LinkedIn at $18 and change is interesting to me. Axie Infinity, big name this year, has pulled back to $100. Again, look at the curated chart. We indicate $95 as the next support zone, and it's broken out of the sideways channel that was for a while there, for several months. This sideways channel has held between 150 and 120, but it's broken out of that bearishly and pulled back to $100. I think that's another psychologically important level, $100. And also RSI at 29, very, very low. We've seen this name also respect the RSI as a good indicator for extremely oversold conditions that could be followed by a relief rally. So another great, very interesting idea. VetChain, also in the uptrend on a long-term basis. Let's look at the curated chart. Where is our support zone? Support zone is at 0.075, so about 7.5 cents. It did touch there, that level with a long wick. If you take a look at it, zoom in right here, it bounced off and then drifted down again. We're close to that level again, and it is a support zone, 7.5 cents. It's worked in the past, so I do think that that's another one with the RSI at 29 or 28 and 7. It's another one that's due for a bounce. And let's do Hedera hash graph. Here we don't have a curated chart, I don't believe. No. But let's take a look at the long-term levels here. Yeah, I'd say 20 cents is certainly a support area. We're at 25 or 26 and change. We're not quite there, although if you look at this area here a couple of times, 25 cents did act as a support area, and maybe even here a couple of times. So we could argue that 25 cents is a support area. 20 cents is a more clear, certainly. So perhaps we could put a limit buy here. But again, a name that's under 30 at 28 and change in terms of RSI, I would take a swing at it, at least with a small position. And it's, you know, it's had a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down days in a row. Very unlikely that this will continue, right? Even in a downtrend, you've got swings, up and down swings. And let's take a look at one more here. Thor chain, another one that's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down days in a row. This one we have a curated chart on. Let's see where the support zone is at $7.50. It down wicked to that, right? It broke through the uptrend. It broke through the 200-day moving average and below 750 and recovered some of that. But 750 is your support zone. It's slightly below that, but as you can see, it's breached that zone in the past and just briefly and bounced back. So again, with the RSI at 29 and change, I'm betting that this is grossly oversold around the support zone. Remember, the support, especially horizontal support levels, are really support zones. It's not a specific level. It's around plus or minus 5 or 10% around the support. Around that level is really a zone that the price could respect, and I think that this is a very high likely situation where we're gonna see a bounce up. So those are the trades that I'm going to put on. And actually wanted to also touch on one more, which is Avalanche. Avalanche here is also near the support zone of $75. It's not as grossly oversold. Let's take a look at Avalanche here. It's actually trading up. So as you can see, this is a name that's already bounced off of $75. It's at, well, it's in fact at $90, $91. So this one's clearly got a lot of buying interest from buyers. This might be also an interesting swing trading opportunity, maybe with upside to about $110, $115. And one more on our list is Matic or Polygon. This one is also trading up today. You know, this is really strong showing when the market is down or sideways and the coin is trading up. That clearly is, there's clear outperformance there. And this one this one is on that list of outperformers. So I like this. I like this. This is actually in a clear, strong trend up across the board. You don't see many coins with that trend profile left anymore. Another one is actually BNB, I believe. Binance. It's also got an uptrend on a medium and a long-term basis, also trading up today. And then last one in terms of maybe pullbacks or oversold situations is Phantom, right? It's also at 31 and change in terms of the RSI. It's very close to the 200-day moving average, which also tends to act as a support area. Not to mention the fact that it is actually sitting at the support zone of $1.50 as indicated in our curated charts. So another, I think, swing trading opportunity. And I emphasize this is a swing trading opportunity. This is not a trade that I'm going to get married to for a long time, but a short-term swing up is very likely for these names. So I'll leave it at that. I hope that helps everyone. It's tough times right now, but keep your trades small. Do a lot of them, and check out our education program with respect to risk management opportunities or techniques as well. It's well worth it. Good luck, everyone.